I'm just going to go out on a limb here. I don't care if the videos of the cats putting glasses on are played backward. I love those videos. Cue the new epic intro music. How'd you like that upgrade? I like it. I like this sort of feel on the show a little bit more. What are we doing today? Well, let me tell you what we're doing today. First of all, we're wondering where Mr. Scissors went to, because I don't see Mr. Scissors. You know what? I'm going to try to do this without Mr. Scissors. Probably a bad idea. So today I have 3 things, and 2 of them, actually, you know what? Not a bad idea. This was much easier than I thought. Recycling pile. Do you remember the other day in my other podcast, and if you don't watch all my podcasts, seriously, what do you have, a life or something? I was talking about not being able to find summery deck shoes that were black because I have black that I want to wear. And I don't want to wear black with light colored shoes, right? Well, look at what I found. Look at these beauties. Could you get more? Look at this. Okay, now I know that a lot of purists are going to go, but the stitching is white and there's green on it. You know what? You got to make sacrifices in this life. I'm just happy that I found black shoes. So now what do I have? I have a tan pair, but these are all the same, by the way. These are the exact same shoe I have 3 colors of. I have the blue pair, the tan pair, and now the black pair. And we all know that... No, I'm not going to put that on top of the recycling because that'll confuse. I'm easily confused. But right now, I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing? Oh, I'm opening another pair of shoes. You're saying another pair of shoes? John, this is the 4th pair of shoes you bought recently. It's summer. And all of my old summer shoes are just, they've been beached out. You take shoes. There's only so much care you can take with shoes that you wear in the wilderness. And when you take them on trails, and you take them to the beach, and you just wear them to death, they die. It's sad. It's like pets. But except shoes have shorter lifespans. So I bought these as well because they resembled another pair that sadly died. This pair was green, but it had this same sort of pattern of little holes, which allows water to get in and also out. Lots of, it's ventilation. So this is the sort of thing you'd wear if you were walking a boardwalk, if you're on the beach. Now, of course, these little holes also let sand in, but that's going to be unavoidable. So nothing you can do. But they look very comfortable, and they're a little bit more stylish than the others are kind of rough. They're kind of a little hippie, and these are a little bit more stylish. So I wanted something that was a little bit more that vein, and I'm going to try to not put this on top of my recycling with a little spin. Right on the money. The 3rd thing, which in the title of this I hinted at, is a book. Now I have books that have bits and pieces. Wow, this is a really good package. Usually I grab one of these book packages and the paper just rips, but this is not doing that. I do have books that have bits and pieces of this particular ancient, well, it's not ancient really, Queen, the last Queen of Hawaii put this into writing. I believe that's who did it. Yeah, Liliuokalani. Well, Liliuokalani, who was the last Queen of Hawaii, put this into writing, but it's apparently a chant about creation that went way back. And the oral tradition is before writing. That's what you had. It's the kumulipo. Actually, kumulipo. There should be a little macron over the O. I don't know about the rest of this. There's a real problem with Hawaiian is that doubled vowels are marked in Hawaiian by a single vowel that has a line over it, but it's pronounced like like if you see a P-O with a line over it, it's pronounced as there's a little gap, and there's a little intonation change there. It's po, right? It's held out longer. It's as if, and in some Polynesian languages, they're actually written that way. Like you may have seen the word Maori in New Zealand. You may have seen it written M-A with a slash over it, O-R-I, or you may have seen it, and this doesn't happen as much anymore, is M, two A's. Well, what that's capturing is that those long vowels in Polynesian languages are really more like putting the same vowel once after the other, because in Polynesian languages they don't have this sort of eliding in diphthongs as much as we do in European languages. The diphthongs are much more, or the separate vowels, even when they're right beside each other, are pronounced much more distinctly. Now, the reason that I bought this, instead of just simply relying on the snippets that I had, was the fact that in the recent astronomical news where they took that photograph of the black hole at the center of our galaxy, they gave it a name from Hawaiian, and they said the name was from this. They named it Po'ovehi. The name from the Kumulipo, which is talking about one of the creative principles in at the beginning of the universe, is not Po'ovehi, it's Po'ovehivehi. And in languages that have reduplication like this, you can't simply eliminate the reduplication, because it changes the meaning. The reduplication in languages that use it changes the meaning. So vehi is not vehi. It's two different things. Vehi means something like fear, and vehi means awesome. So it's like this, it doubles the sense of fear, and it amplifies it. So the principle that's in the, I'm trying to find it here. I just opened this. And as I said, I've only read snippets of this in other books on Hawaiian religion. So I'm trying to find, oh, you know what? They don't have the Hawaiian in here. This is just an English translation. What? I got had. Oh, no, there's some Hawaiian in here. But at a certain point, there were two principles of creation at the beginning of the universe, and one was Po'ovehivehi, and one was Po something else. And these things mean two different types of night. And Po'ovehivehi was, of course, the awesome night. Now, the story that's going around says that that Po'ovehi means, and they don't even mean Po'ovehi, they mean Po'ovehivehi means embellished dark source of unending creation. Well, Martha Beckwith, who, I mean, she's a great scholar of Hawaiian religion. I don't want to sound like I'm trying to take anything from her, but embellished dark source of unending creation is a very, very fanciful interpretation, and I don't like that sort of thing. No matter what tradition, I like when they tell you what words mean in ancient languages. Like, I like when they tell you that Philip, if you're reading a story about ancient Greece and they tell you, well, Philip means the guy who loves horses. He's a horse lover. They tell you that Alexander the Great's horse, Bucephalus, his horse's name means cowhead, and it's, apparently was descriptive of that horse. I like to know these things, and so I don't like these fanciful interpretations that try to read into, well, why were they calling it Po'ovehivehi? Well, Po'ovehivehi means the awesome night. Or the most fanciful I would get is the awesome darkness, since we are talking about a creative principle. But I got this so that I could refamiliarize myself with, actually familiarize myself with a part of Hawaiian religion that I was only vaguely familiarized with. So I bought this little book so that I could both educate myself and also talk a little bit about something. I'm not trying to detract from what was accomplished in that photograph. It's an amazing thing. But if you're going to try to honor a tradition by naming something after it, it needs to be correct. And Po'ovehi is not correct. Po'ovehi is the thing they were referring to. I know that's harder to say, but you know what? People just have to get used to it. And Po'ovehi means something different from Po'ovehi. It's just, it's something that, especially if you're in science, you should get these things correct. You should be accurate. And as a matter of fact, I'm planning a podcast in the future to talk about the importance of accuracy in words, because I talk a lot about words. I talk a lot about science. I talk a lot about history. I talk a lot about language. And this being accurate with words is very important. So recently I stumbled on something where someone was quoting the Analects of Confucius, something that it's a part of the Analects that I read a long time ago, and it's always stuck with me. It's 13.3, and it's about the importance of what are the consequences when you're not precise with your language. And Confucius goes through, well, if you don't do this, then this happens, and if that happens, then this happens, and things get bad to the point where people don't know what they're supposed to do anymore. So I'm probably going to talk about that a little bit in a future podcast. But today I just wanted to, since I knew this book was coming, I wanted to go into this to sort of say, kudos on the photograph. It's fantastic. And kudos on trying to honor Hawaiian culture. But you got to get this stuff right because it matters. It really does matter. The Hawaiian language is endangered, and getting the meaning of the Hawaiian language and getting its nuances, that does matter, because these are two completely different terms, and they don't mean the same thing, and neither of them mean embellished dark source of unending creation. It's they poetically, yes, but the actual meaning, which I think is important to get back to the actual meaning. This is a major part of any kind of study when you're studying an ancient culture, religion. I don't like to read this sort of thing when it's talking about the Torah or the gospel. I want to know what exactly were the Greek words that John used in the first few verses of his gospel when he was saying God. What did he say? What exactly are the plays on words in the Hebrew scriptures, or in the Muslim scriptures, or in the Hindu scriptures? Because these things matter, because if you don't have those nuances, you don't really know whether to agree or disagree what they were talking about. You have to get down to what they were talking about. What did these words mean to them? And the word Po'ovehi meant something. And there was an implied, connotation that was, cosmological. But the word itself, Po'ovehi, was chosen for a reason. And the reason was that it meant awesome night or awesome darkness, as opposed to the other word, which, oh my gosh, you know what? I'm going to try to find it so that I can put it in here, because it's important. It's really important. But thank you for putting up with my little stupid rant, especially how ridiculous this is. I start out with an epic remake of my intro music, and then I go into shoes, and then I go into black holes and obscure linguistic details. Like I'm being grammar police for all the languages in the world now, right? But if you like this kind of ridiculousness, or if you want to just troll me and joke on me, say this, look at this dumbass. Like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And just like I introduced you to some new intro music, I've got some new outro music too, and I hope you like it. Cue it!